all people who have no real strong sense of self gravitate towards people who have a strong sense of self. Now, these people can fit into two categories, dangerous and not so dangerous. If a person who experiences enmeshment trauma gravitates towards the not so dangerous category of strong personality people, they're still going to give away themselves, even though nobody, including this strong-willed personality person, or person with a strong core, didn't ask them to give themselves away. They're going to do it anyway, because they've already learned to do that. So let's say that this person who had enmeshment trauma gets into a relationship with somebody who drives Harley Davidsons. Maybe that person isn't really a mean person, isn't really a narcissist, doesn't really care whether they are really into Harley Davidsons or not. This person is still going to get into a relationship with them, get into Harley Davidsons, drop everything else that they're doing, and then later get mad about it. They're going to be like, well, I gave up everything that I was for you and for motorcycles, when it was never actually something that they were asked to do. So that's one path. The other path is they're going to find their way back into a relationship with a narcissist, with somebody where the actual expectation in that relationship is you do give yourself up, in fact. And then they're just expected to do the same thing with that person that they did in childhood. People with enmeshment trauma have learned a codependent style of relationship. They're at war with themselves because all at once they want to be the same as the other person so as to establish closeness with them, but also to push them away and define themselves as different because they crave a sense of self and independence. They are constantly trapped between the thoughts and feelings of others and their own thoughts and feelings. The wants and needs of others and their own wants and needs. The personal truth of others and their own personal truth. They see intimacy as deeply needed but also as a serious threat. So it's quite common that when you're involved with somebody who has enmeshment trauma, that it's going to feel like a constant push and pull. So like we said before, enmeshment trauma is in fact a developmental trauma, right? It's that a person was not able to develop, in a healthy way or a normal way, a sense of separate self. If you are somebody who has experienced enmeshment trauma, it's going to be a process, because it is a developmental issue, to learn what you actually should have learned early in childhood, but now in your adult life. To learn how to have a relationship where you can have yourself at the same time as being in relationship with other people. Because chances are, if you came from this type of a situation, you can only feel a strong sense of self in one or another scenario. Here's what it looks like. Either you can only feel yourself when you're totally alone, or you can only feel yourself when you're in a relationship but opposed to someone. Meaning you've got to be in conflict with them or setting yourself apart from them or pushing against something to even feel like you have a boundary. Now both isolation, so you can feel yourself, and opposition, so you can feel yourself, leads to suffering. In order to heal from enmeshment trauma, you must do what you were never able to do in childhood, which is to actually develop a healthy sense of self, or what we would call a core. This means developing boundaries, learning how to have the self within the context of relationship without resorting to either codependent or narcissistic strategies.